Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Frank White, aka Frank in Korea. You're watching Inner City Cooking with Frank White. Was gone for a couple weeks. I had to take care, write the script that I was doing, and I'm working, so the time consistency it wasn't working out. But now it's my day off, so I figured I'd do another episode for you guys. And today we are making steak Pisaiol, which is minute steak slivered up in inside of a red gravy or marinara or whatever. Some people how I told you. Some Italians say red gravy or Sunday's gravy. Some people say marinara. So basically, we're making steak Pisaiol in a red gravy, and we're making it with Ziti's. I'm only making a half a box because it's only me and my mama. So let's get to it. Basically, right here, as you can see, we have the steak slivered up. It's seasoned with garlic powder, onion powder, meat tenderized, and black pepper. That's it. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna absorb all the flavor from the red gravy. You understand what I'm saying? You dig? So we already have it slivered up. I'm gonna show you a piece of how it's slivered up. It is slivered up like that, very thin. Now, preferably, you're supposed to use chicken steak because it's very tender. But it's very hard to find. A lot of what do they call them? Meat dealers or whatever. If you go to a Spanish if you go to a Spanish store, Spanish supermarket, you're not gonna find it. If you go to an Italian delicatessen or butcher, or any type of butcher or delicatessen that sells meat, they might have it. They rarely sell it because a lot of people don't ask for it. Chicken steak is very good to make with cheesesteaks. Oh God. I'll do that on another episode. You understand? You dig? But today we're using just regular old minute steaks. Like I said, diced up, garlic powder, onion powder, meat tenderizer, black pepper. My mother took out 2 bags, so it's a lot of steak. It's about 14 steaks there. 12 to 14 steaks that I slivered up. So it's gonna have a lot of meat, which is good. I'm gonna tear that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we're gonna get to it. When we come back, I'm gonna throw it in a pan, brown it, and then I'm gonna show you how to make it with inside the gravy. Understand? So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy Frank White, aka Frank in Korea. We're making ziti with steak Pisaiol, and like I said before, steak Pisaiol roughly translate is basically slivered up steak inside of a red sauce. Now, some people like to put vegetables in it and stuff like that. I'm not doing that shit. I just want to have a regular, traditional, old school. It's basically kind of like having ground beef inside of a red gravy, like a bolognese. But basically, what we're doing is just regular slivered up steak inside of red gravy. All right. So, about to drop the steak in right now, like I showed you before. Dropping it in. You hear that sizzle? All right. Now, we're going to start moving this around. Oh, yeah. Smell-o-vision, baby. They got to come up with this. They got to come up with it. You know what I mean? Because this smells so good. And I haven't even thrown in any seasonings or any gravy yet. You understand? You dig what I'm saying? So, with that being said, as I do that, as I move this around, as you can see, what we're doing is we're browning the meat. All right, we're browning the meat until it's nice. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna lower the heat. You do it on high or medium, and at the same time, we have our pot right here with water and a little bit of salt, and we're gonna cover it and let it get to a boil, and then we're gonna throw the ziti in there and let the ziti boil until it's nice and al dente, preferably about 8 to 10 minutes. You understand? So while that's going on, a lot of people had questions for me. They said, Frank, I love your show. You know what I mean? It's very informative, and you keep it real. And I said, that's the only way to be, partner. Because I'm trying to help people, and this is the reason why I do this. You know, I don't get paid for this shit. You understand? I'm just doing this for the love and to help people. You know, especially where I'm from and all over the world. You know, know how to cook. Because believe it or not, there's some women that can't cook for shit. So what woman don't like a man that can't cook? You know, that could cook. I'm sorry. Who cook? What woman doesn't like a man that can cook? All right. So I'm giving y'all, you know, a nice little incentive so you can surprise your girl. Plus Valentine's Day coming up in like 2 weeks. You dig? How nice would that be to cook something nice for your girl or your wife? Understand? And ladies, vice versa for your ass too. You know what I mean? If you don't know how to cook, Frank White showing you how to cook. You understand? So now we're moving this around. As you can still see, it's getting nice and brown. There's no redness. You understand? Yeah, buddy. Alright, so we're done with that. And when we come back, I'm going to add the tomato sauce and show you how it looks. What's up, people? Welcome back. When I left you off, we were browning the meat. So, as you can see, the meat is nice and browned. All the juices is coming out. I keep telling you, I swear, if I could invent aroma vision or smell vision, I swear to God, these people will fucking flip your wig. You understand what I'm saying? Don't mind the pimple over here, too. That's from me wearing my hat at work. But yeah, so now this is browned, as you can see. Probably a lot of smoke coming out of it. But now, what we're going to do is we're going to add the sauce. Okay? We're going to have 1 can of crushed tomatoes, as you can see. Alright? And 1 can of tomato sauce, as you can see. Always use crushed tomatoes because it gives you that thickness and that richness. Alright? And then we're going to season it with garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, basil, oregano, and Italian seasoning. Now this is my mama's recipe. I usually just, I'm very rustic. So when I make my gravy, I usually just put salt, pepper, a pinch of sugar, basil, garlic powder. That's it. If I have fresh garlic, I throw the fresh garlic in there. It gives it way better flavor. And slivered onions, sliced up real slivered onions. But this is my mama's recipe for gravy, what she calls marinara or sauce. You know, we argue over this shit all the time. But yeah, so basically, like I said, you're gonna put garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, Italian seasoning, basil, black pepper, 1 big can of crushed tomatoes, 1 small can of tomato sauce. Okay? You're going to add a pinch of sugar to break the acidity, okay? And you're going to add salt. Not too much salt. Maybe a palmful, okay? That's all you need. So, now, while this is nice and browned, we're going to add the red sauce. Crushed tomatoes, I'm sorry. So that's 1 can of crushed tomatoes. 1 can of tomato sauce. It doesn't matter what tomato sauce. It could be like no frills tomato sauce. You understand? Whatever is on sale, you can get. Whether it be Del Monte, Red Pack, Hunt's. Hunt's is okay, but the thing with Hunt's is that it's very thick and very acidy. So I wouldn't recommend Hunt's, but any other one, definitely get. As for crushed tomatoes, I like to use Lafite or Tuttoroso because it comes already with the basil in it, so you only have to add a little bit of basil. But this time, I went to the supermarket, as you can see, and I got their brand because it was only $1. I mean, usually they go for like $1.50, $1.75, but this one was $1. What more can you ask for? So now that that's in there, we got the tomato, the crushed tomatoes and the tomato sauce in there. Now we're gonna add the garlic powder. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 count, okay? Salt. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Don't go more than 4, okay? Or do the palm. Onion powder. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Alright? Black pepper. Go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we get into the seasonings now. We're gonna do oregano. Oregano strong. Don't put too much oregano. You're gonna do a 3 count. Ready? You're gonna go 1, 2, 3. That's it. Now, we're gonna do Italian seasoning. This is a 4 count, okay? You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright? Alright? Here we go. Now, basil. This is the key one. This is the key. If you're using fresh basil, which is, you know, time consuming and hard to find, especially if you don't have like a vegetable grocer or whatever, you want to put 4 count too. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. All right. Now, remember what I told you about the sugar? The sugar is to break the acidity, okay? Because you got a lot of fat and tomatoes have a lot of acid. So look at my fingers. See this right here? This is all we're gonna use. That's it. And just go around in a circle. Alright? That's it. Now, take your spoon and start moving everything around. Look at that. Start moving everything around. Alright? Look at that. Oh, baby. Alright? Look at that. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Now, we're going to cover it. And we're going to put it on simmer. Which is like low heat, but not too low. Maybe like medium, maybe a little lower than medium. All right. And now we're gonna check our water. What you see is bubbling. So we good with the ziti. Now, open up the ziti. Like I told you, you can make a whole box if you're gonna feed this will feed about between 4 and 7 people. Okay. This is a half a box. It's just for me and my mama. So I'm just dropping that in there. All right. Now what's gonna happen is when the ziti is cooked al dente, they're gonna swell up. They're gonna poof. All right. But what I like to do is some people like to have white pasta and then put the gravy on top with the meat. Me personally, I like to mix it in. Because then the ziti, as it sits in the gravy, the red gravy with the steak, Pisaiol, or whatever, whether you make a sausage, ground beef, you know, bolognese, whatever. Once you you mix the ziti or the pasta, linguine, whatever you're doing in there, and it sits, it poofs even more, and it absorbs all the gravy. Oh, baby, so good. Now you can add, you know, Parmesan Romano with your stuff or whatever not, but unfortunately, I like mine plain, you know, keep it really simple. So anyways, when we come back, I'm going to show you how it looks, all right? Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I forgot to mention before I left you off, when you pour the crushed tomatoes and the tomato sauce into on top of the steak and start to let it cook with the seasonings and stuff like that, don't forget to always use a half a can of water for each one. So if you use a small can of the tomato sauce, like I showed you, use a half a can of water for that to get the rest of the tomato sauce out. And for the crushed tomatoes, the big one, use a half a can of water for that too. So that way it's not super thick, because you want to add water so it can cook. and the water's gonna boil, and it's gonna start to get thicker and thicker and thicker because of the meat and everything. You understand what I'm saying? You dig? So I forgot to tell you to do that. I apologize. But you always have to add a half a can of water for each can of sauce that you use or crushed tomatoes that you use. Understand? So when I left you off, we were doing that. I added there the water. As you can see, it's getting nice and thick already. Let me show you how this looks. Look at that. Oh baby. Oh damn. So that's gonna cook for about another 20 minutes. Total time about half an hour. Okay. You brown the meat, which is 5 minutes. Then you put the salt, the crushed tomatoes, the sauce, and the seasonings, and you let it cook for like another 25 minutes. You understand? So half an hour time, about half an hour, 40 minutes the most. You understand? You don't want to overcook the meat because then it becomes tough. You want to be able to, boil after you brown the meat. You boil, you cook it inside inside the red gravy, and then you want it to fall apart. You want it to be like butter in your mouth when you eat it. You know what I mean? Just breaks apart. So. With that being said, we're gonna check on our ziti. As you can see, it's bubbling and they're starting to poof. They're not quite there yet. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it right now. They're not quite there yet. You got about another, I say, 5 minutes on them. So once they're done, I'm gonna drain them. And usually when you're making pasta, you don't have to shock them. But like if you're making like macaroni salad or antipasta salad or whatever, then you shock them with cold water so they stop cooking. But since this is a hot meal, you don't have to shock them. Just drain them real quick. And even if there's a little excess water, just throw them into the gravy. And just stir it around and let it sit. The longer it sits, the better it gets. Now, this is going to taste way better the next day. Food always tastes better the next day. You know what I mean? I know there's going to be a lot left over, so, usually what I tend to do is make a plate and then give it to somebody, the homeless people that's outside. Like I told you before, my mother walks outside by herself and she has seizures and she has a little bit of dementia. So, the doctor said she has a touch of dementia. So, she's always by herself, so they're always watching out for her and stuff like that because they know me and my brother. And so what I do is I tend to, give them, if I have money on me, I'll give them $1 or whatever not. Or most importantly, what I usually do is I always make a small plate for them, a little paper plate, and wrap it up with aluminum foil, heat it up, and give it to them. And they're so grateful, man. Sometimes I actually, the other day, believe it or not, I cut hair too. As you can see, I cut my own hair and everything. I invited one of them upstairs and we had a few drinks and I made dinner and I saw that he was really scruffy and I felt bad, so I gave him a 12-pack of socks for Christmas. I said, look, Merry belated Christmas, I'm sorry, here you go. He went in the bathroom, he started crying, he put on socks or whatever, and he came out and I was like, I said, you want a haircut? And he was like, you serious? I was like, yeah. He goes, why are you being so nice to me? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I mean, you guys are the nicest people that I ever met. Nobody really treats me like you guys do. You invited me into your house, and I really appreciate that. So I'm like, don't worry about it. So I cut his hair, I shaved him, gave him a goatee and everything. He ate, walked right out. He was like, thank you so much. And that made my day, you know what I mean? Last year wasn't a good year for me, you know what I mean? I lost a childhood friend of mine who died in his sleep. Rest in peace, Peanut. My heart goes out to your family. I mean, it's unfortunate. And I lost another friend in a car accident. So last year wasn't a good year, but this year I've been blessed. This year, 2016 has been good to me, and I'm just trying to pay it forward, like I always tell you. And people who know me will tell you that I have a good heart. You know what I mean? and hopefully one day I'll meet a nice girl and live happily ever after. But I still haven't met the right girl yet, so hopefully soon I will. I don't have no kids or nothing, so it's hard to find somebody who don't have kids. You understand? You dig? But or somebody who wants kids. So, anyways, on that note, when we come back, I'm gonna put the ziti into the sauce, see, my mother got me doing that. Put the ziti into the red gravy with the steak Pisaiol, and I'm gonna show you how it looks. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. I told you that when I came back, I was gonna show you how it looked, and this is the final product of ziti with steak Pisaiol. There you have it. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Look at that, baby. Look at that, baby. Beautiful. And on that note, that's simple. It costs about $8. Feed about 4 to 7 people, depending on how they eat. Like I always say, now you can add Parmesan Romano or Parmesan cheese to it. Like I told you, I eat mine regular, plain Jane. So on that note, this is Frank White signing out. Bien provecho. Stay tuned for next time. God bless.